Guys, if you are someone who actually vibe codes, the biggest problem comes when you want to integrate APIs, right? Setting up OAuth connections, dealing with the API keys, reading through documentation, this completely kills vibe. But watch this, if you want to integrate Google Sheets, you just have to click on sign in here and that's it, the connection is successfully made. No API keys, no auth setup and no documentation. This is the entire setup. Replit just launched connectors which changes everything. So in this video, here is what we will be going to build. So we'll be building a personal finance tracker. So it is going to, whenever you try to submit a transaction in this particular website, and it's gonna log that in the Google Sheet, and then by the end of the week it's going to summarize all the transactions and it's gonna send you an email with the transactions that are happened in that particular week. If this sounds interesting, let's get started with the video. So before starting the video, I'll just tell you what connectors exactly is. So usually if you want to go ahead and integrate any sort of these applications, let's say if you want to integrate Gmail in your application, what you have to do is you just have to go to the Google Cloud Console and then you have to get the authentication, like you have to create the OAuth and then you'll have to integrate that, right? And now it's completely changed and you just have to click on this sign in option and you just have to click on continue with Gmail and just give it all the permissions and click on continue. That's it, the connection is successfully made. Now you can actually integrate Gmail in all the applications that you are building. So alright, we'll be going ahead with building the personal finance tracker. So for that we'll be needing, obviously we'll be needing the Gmail node to send the Gmails, and the other thing we need is the Google Sheets. Just continue with the access and successfully the connection is made with the Google Sheets as well. And now I'll just go ahead with the app. So I'll now just give out the prompt. So let's just go through the prompt once. So I just want you to build the personal finance tracker website using Replit Connectors that integrates Google Sheet, Gmail and OpenAI. We'll be using the OpenAI to summarize our emails. And then the next thing is transaction input interface where we'll be entering all the transactions. And then we need the Google Sheets integration. I just gave it the Sheets ID. If you're not sure where to get this, just go to Google Sheets and create a sheet. Top here you'll have this ID after D, so just copy this and give out to the Replit agent. And then the next thing is it has to summarize the emails and then it has to send out the email. This is what the entire prompt is all about, and I'll just click on start chat. And now it's going to go ahead and completely build out, like first it's gonna create the plan and then it's gonna create the design and then it's gonna go ahead and implement the functionality of it. I'll show you the entire process here. So it's actually asking me to connect Google Sheets, like we have added the connector there, right? So it's just asking for the permission. I'll just click on allow for the connection, and same thing with the Gmail node as well. And now as you can see, it now came up with the plan. So let's just go with the plan and the transaction input form. So this is the detail, like the transactions that we have to put out on the website and the Google Sheets integration. And then it's going to display recent transactions table with sorting and filtering, total expenses calculations for week and month, category wise spending, send an email report, OpenAI integration, Gmail integration, and it's going to be the mobile friendly interface. It's gonna have that, and I'm okay with the plan. I'll just go ahead with the. Now here you have two things, right? So what I would do is I'll be going with the design first, and if there are any sort of things that I want to modify in the design after it's generated, I'll go ahead and make the changes. And then after the design changes are done, I'll go ahead with the functionality of it. Or else if you don't want, and if you directly want it to go ahead and build the design and functionality all at once, you can actually go ahead and choose this particular option. But I'll be going ahead with this particular option, which is start with the design. And now it's going to completely design the application, and then on the right side here you'll have the preview of the application. So while it's designing, there are some options that you have to actually know when you are using the Replit agent. So let's just start with here. So here you have you are going to have two options. One is build and other is plan. So if you want it to go ahead and make the changes to the application, you have to keep it in the build mode. Or if you have something, you have to ask the questions, or if you want to like get some information or plan your process, then plan option would be the right thing. And with this you'll have to add an attachment. Let's say if you want to attach an image or any sort of things, you can go ahead and do it from here. And then the other thing is agent tools. So here you have, this is completely new, like it's not there in the previous agents. It's actually implemented recently, which is app testing. So let's say if you want to turn this option on, this is going to actually like create an internal browser and then open this particular application. It's going to click all the buttons or whatever the things to actually make sure that the app is perfectly working or the functionality is perfectly there. And this is actually going to cost you a bit more credits, but trust me, this is going to completely take out a lot of my work. So I'm just going to keep this on, and the autonomy level is high, low, medium, max, which is something like if I just go ahead with low, it's just going to generate and execute on this task list. Task list is something which you'll see after we start the building process. So once we start building, you'll see something called as task list here. And then if I go ahead with the medium, it also reviews latest code changes and fixes issues found. So if I go ahead with the high, which I would prefer, it expands review scope to entire app. So it's going to make sure that the code that it's writing is actually working perfectly. And the other option here, if you just go to other, you'll have some options here, which is web search and image generation. If you want that, you can go ahead and try this out as well. And yeah, it's now like building the application. These are like the components. Once the entire front end is done, it's going to show us that. And I'll actually see you once the entire front end is completed. Okay, now the design part is completely done. So it's now asking me for the OpenAI API key. I'll give that. And if you just hover over here, you'll actually see the cost, that like the credits that has been consumed in order to perform all the tasks that are done till now. So the cost was around $1.35. So the front end application is completely done, but I just want one design change here. I just want the like the currency to be shown in rupees, not in the dollars. So I'll just click on keep iterating on design, and I'll just give it to change the currency. So I just asked it to change the currency to rupees, and so it's now going to change it to rupees, and then we can go ahead and implement the building functionality. Okay, it now completely changed it to rupees. So I'll just now go ahead and add the OpenAI API key here. So I'll just click on continue after adding it. And now I'll just go ahead with the build functionality. So now it's going to build the entire functionality that we have requested for. So in the meantime, there are other things that we have to check it out. So here you have an option called tools and files, right? So this is like a complete game changer. You'll have a lot of tools that you can actually use. So let's say if you are done with the entire app and you want to publish, you can actually use this option to go ahead and publish the app. You'll be getting the live URL, which you can share it. If you want to connect to Replit native and external services, you can use this. And if you want to add database for the application, you can actually use this. And like there are a lot of things that you can actually check that out. So if you want to add the authentication, like the login, like the user management, all those stuff, you can actually use this as well. So like you can just check out all these things, and these are pretty useful if you are actually vibe coding. And it's now building the functionality, and I'll get back to you once the entire functionality is completely built out. So this is what I actually spoke about. Like I actually spoke about something called as task list, right? So this is something, it's gonna create a list of tasks that it has to do, and it is going to go through each one of them one by one. So this is what I was talking about. Like I have told you the app testing, right? So it's now, this is the final testing that the agent is doing. It's going to open the browser, and like as you can see, it's now filling up all the things, and actually it's performing the testing part. So this is something that's it's actually useful when it's building the application. It's gonna test it out by itself. So if I now go ahead and like try to add something here, I feel like I'll go ahead and add a Netflix like 2000, and it's gonna come under entertainment, right? So if I go ahead and add the transaction, it's gonna add up here. And if I go to the transaction, you'll be able to see the Netflix, which is 2000, that is added. So and if I go ahead and click on send email report, and with the email, if I click on send report, if I just check out that in my email, as you can see, I now got the email. And not just that, we have a lot of other connectors that you can actually use if you want to build the application. So these are all the available connectors, and in future Replit is gonna add some more as well. So that's it for the video. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you find it helpful, just give it a like, and I leave the link of the Replit to try it out in the description. Do check that out, and I'll see you in the next one.